Don't expect Brooklyn's status as New York's it area to be revoked anytime soon. With buzzing nightclubs, quirky date spots, and, of course, more than a few hipster haunts, the borough's lasting popularity is in the bag. Just in time for your next night out, here are the best areas for nightlife in Brooklyn, New York City. Not even Brooklynites are too cool for clubbing, a New York nightlife tradition still going strong in Bushwick. At neighborhood spots including House of Yes, Bossa Nova Civic Club, and Trans Pecos, locals dance to DJ performances, watch live shows, and manage to make even normcore clubbing quirky. Like it or not, it's Gen Zers who transformed this once sleepy borough into the cultural hub it is today. However, despite being part of a generation that created the Williamsburg scene, I feel like an interloper when I'm hanging out there past 7 p.m. these days. It's true that people in my age group are often just as focused on colonoscopies as cocktails, but it doesn't have to be an either-or situation. It was Gen Zers who jumped on the stage at King's Theatre during the Morrissey show this past winter, proving that our slacker generation still has some spunk. Also, James Murphy? Questlove? Jennifer Lopez? All one of us. Still, many friends have confessed to me that they increasingly feel like the old person at the bar or on the dance floor. Subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Only 19.9% of Americans are Gen X, making us the smallest living age group, according to the most recent census data. We're the latchkey kids, weaned on Breakfast Club and Soul Train, wary of authority and still slightly redolent of teen spirit. So, where can a middle-aged person go for some fun and be surrounded by fellow Gen Zers? To locate the best spots for folks over and nearing 50, I pulled out my Rolodex. Do you kids even know what a Rolodex is? To reach out to my party-going contacts across the borough, and compiled this list of the best in Gen X nightlife. From daytime dance parties, you can be in bed by 9 p.m., to a host of fun bars, there's a reason to go out this week. Some of these establishments might be old favorites for the locals, but hopefully many will be new to you. A quick note, areas like Brooklyn Heights, Cobble Hill, Carroll Gardens, Park Slope, Windsor Terrace, or anything one would refer to as Brownstone Brooklyn, are teeming with Gen X-friendly establishments. That said, here we'll highlight special venues from those areas that stood out and would specifically appeal to Gen Zers or the geriatric millennial set. Please add them to your dance card. Also, nothing makes us laugh harder than the expression, geriatric millennial. Bay Ridge was once home to 2001 Odyssey, the nightclub featured in Saturday Night Fever. Maybe you won't find a young hip-swiveling Travolta here, but you can have a fun night out at a local favorite heated beer garden. Lockyard also hosts themed trivia nights, sitcoms in syndication, 90s pop culture, etc., which should appeal to folks who grew up on network TV. If you're hungry, order a Johnny Cash or a Bartman from their kitschy hot dog-focused menu. Did I mention they sell fried Oreos? You'll probably have to pop a Prilosec, but it will be worth it. Although Bed-Stuy caters to a 20-something crowd, there's a sophisticated vibe at this charming bar and music venue. The owners know their cocktails and how to curate an eclectic list of performances. Many of the performers here are fellow Gen Zers. This neighborhood favorite also serves tapas, so you won't have to worry about your blood sugar and can concentrate on the tunes. Go for dancing and drinks at Come On Everybody, which bills itself as a queer-owned and operated bar, music venue, and live art space. The welcoming atmosphere means that you'll likely see some silver foxes among the Bed-Stuy hipsters. Situated a couple of blocks from the Brooklyn waterfront on Atlantic Avenue, the historic dive bar used to cater to sailors but now serves folks who want to belt out some tunes and down some brews, which is not unlike sailors, come to think of it. Montero's hosts popular karaoke nights on Thursdays through Saturday nights. Plus there's a pool table. Seafaring folks and history buffs will love the walls adorned with old photos, newspaper articles, and ship-related decor. If you're looking for some good grub and thoughtfully conceived cocktails before you head over to karaoke, you should pair the trip to Montero's with a jaunt to the near-perfect Long Island Bar, which is right across the street. This gorgeous historic watering hole dating back to 1885 is overflowing with old-world detail. In addition to the bygone-era vibe, there's a pool table and outdoor seating. When I first walked into the Brooklyn Inn during the 1990s, the surrounding area was a more desolate section of Brooklyn. However, our peers spent the last 2 decades opening bars, restaurants, and cool shops along Smith Street, which is a short walk from this wood-paneled bar. Just a short walk from the Brooklyn Bridge, the Henry Street Ale House is in a stretch of Brooklyn Heights which is home to many local favorites like the restaurant Noodle Pudding. This ale house has been around for almost 30 years because it has consistently good pub fare and a large selection of brews on tap, with many coming from the 5 boroughs including IPAs from Staten Island and the Bronx. The laid-back atmosphere is the ideal vibe for someone who came of age in the 90s. After you've had a few brews, take an autumnal walk around the tree-lined, often cobblestone streets of brownstone-laden Brooklyn Heights. Maybe you think a night out in Bushwick will have you up till the small hours, but not at this jazz performance space, which has an early bird show from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. The venue's name alone should appeal to the crop of empty nester moms turned Brooklyn bird watchers, a trend to which I have yet to succumb, even though the club's moniker is a tribute to Charlie Parker. Order a cocktail, appreciate the music, oh, and they also have a vegan pop-up restaurant, which is a great choice of cuisine for a generation focused on cholesterol levels. Okay, this sports bar is really geared toward millennials, but it is 90s themed, so anyone who actually remembers the 90s deserves a seat at the bar. Perhaps you can sidle up to the young patrons and regale them with stories of traveling around Europe with a water-damaged and outdated hand-me-down copy of Let's Go Europe, because we didn't have smartphones or Google. It's also fun to see all the 90s decor and to remember the days when we were younger. The party starts at 3 p.m. and wraps by 8 when Mr. Sunday's in town, so you can forego your disco nap. Mr. Sundays, hosted by DJs Justin Carter and Eamon Harkin, is a fun way to close out the weekend as you dance away your pre-work week jitters and hydrate with a beer. Nowadays is on the Brooklyn/Queens border, and technically in Ridgewood, but we'll let that slide. The clientele is more Gen Z than Gen X, but you can probably beat them at a game of foosball or top their high score at pinball. The bar also boasts a jukebox with a playlist of 80s and 90s tunes and a photo booth. Although, you might want to have a few drinks in you before you peek at the filterless photo booth pics. All these retro-era finds should make you feel nostalgic for those dive bars you frequented in the 90s, but unlike those cramped holes in the walls of yesteryear, this place has a lot of seating. What's super retro about this place is that it's cash only. This bar venue in Crown Heights is Gen X and queer-friendly, despite having a clientele of younger folk. They offer a slew of events that start at middle-age appropriate times, around 8 p.m., including a bevy of comedy shows. If you're heading out in Crown Heights, this is a fun and festive place for early birds as well as those older folks who still like to dance. If you can manage to get there after 10 p.m., that's when the really partying starts with eclectic DJs hosting different dance nights. This bar and flower shop is an atmospheric spot to have a drink, but it also hosts a vinyl dance party at 8 p.m. every second Wednesday. Dancing starts at 10 on weekends. For those who'd rather be entertained than move around, Sycamore has drag, trivia, and comedy nights, so be sure to check the calendar before you visit. The space is quite charming, and simply having a happy hour drink is enjoyable here. In fact, there's no better way to spend a fall evening than sipping cocktails on their expansive patio. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. See you in the next one.